Happy Easter week. Larry Marino is here again, and I wanted to talk to you about the basics. I've been talking to some of you, and it seems like I know for some of you what I'm going to talk about seems so basic. You'll say, "Well, we already know all that, Larry," and maybe so, but this would be a good review for you. And if it's something new, then we all win because it's always good to review the basics. So I want to talk about three things that you must know. Three basic things you must know if you say, I'm a Christian. You must know the Ten Commandments, you must know the Apostles' Creed, and you must know the Lord's Prayer. And when you think about it, it makes perfect sense because those three things tell you what to do, what not to do, what to believe, and how to pray. Now, if you're a Christian, you think that's basic. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I need to know what to do, what not to do, what to believe, and how to pray. Today I'm going to talk about what to do and what not to do, the Ten Commandments. Now, again, I know this is going to feel like a review, but stay with me. I think you'll find that it still will be helpful. All right, so here's the Ten Commandments. Here they are. You shall have no other gods. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. You shall remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Now, those three commandments are dealing with our friendship with God. Those three. The next seven deal with our friendships with each other. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his manservant or maidservant, his ox or donkey, or his car, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. All right, so these are the commandments. What to do, what not to do. What God says is I want you to fear me, I want you to love me, and I want you to trust me above everything else. And of course, when you think about it, fear, love, and trust are the three things that take up your whole life. I mean, everybody's afraid of something. Everybody attaches themselves to something or someone, emotionally. And everybody has to put their trust in something. So God is saying, well, what are you really afraid of losing more than anything? If the answer is not God, then there's a problem. If you say, well, what do you really love more? And if the answer is not God, that's a problem. What do you trust? Is it your house, or that you're safe from corona, or what is it? So you see, right there, we blow the friendship with God. And then if you take the others, honor your father. Nobody respects older people the way we should. We just don't do it. Do not murder. And in another video I have, clearing up some misunderstandings about the fifth commandment, I go into a lot of detail as to how we miss that. We think it has to do with killing, when in fact you break the fifth commandment if you hate somebody. That's pretty serious. But I'll refer you to that video for that. The sixth commandment, you shall not commit adultery. And of course, Jesus said you don't have to touch somebody in order to commit adultery. You can just have the thought and you're still doing it. So that's pretty easy for people to fall into. Do not steal. That one's obvious. Do not bear false witness. That's the idea of gossip. And think about this. I used to have a problem in my church with gossip. And people would say, oh, Pastor Larry, it wasn't gossip because what I told was true. Such nonsense. It doesn't matter if it's true. I'll tell you why. Because God did not authorize you to tell other people's business. The only way that you would be really authorized by God is if you were in a courtroom and you took an oath and the judge said, now you must answer the question and tell the truth. But think about it in a practical sense. Do you want people to tell things about you that are true? And if they told some bad thing about you, or how would I feel if somebody told something bad about me, even though it were true? Do I really need for people to know it? Of course not. Just use a little sense here. So please, Just because something is true and somebody told you something, you can say, okay, well, I'll pray to God about it. If you really have a need to talk, go in your room, close the door, and say, Lord, I have a need to talk about this person, what they did, but I'm going to talk to you instead. I'm not going to call everybody. We have to stop that. We have to watch that. And then, of course, coveting, wanting what other people want. I was talking to some gypsies recently, and they admitted, and I give them credit, because they said, we saw a guy, he has money, and they would say, well, where's ours? Where's ours? Where's mine? And they were at least honest. So you see, we're not doing a very good job keeping those commandments. And I guess when I think about it, it's a very good reason why we don't like to think about it, because, if you look at it and then look at your life, you say, well, not doing a very good job, and of course nobody likes to feel bad. But listen, from the Catechism, which is a book of questions, it says, the question is, do you believe that you're a sinner? The answer is yes. And here's the key. How do you know? Because of the 10 Commandments. These show me God's law and show me my sin. I haven't kept them. See, that's the key. The key is you always think of your life in terms of the commandments. No matter what the situation, you can always say, oh yeah, the commandment. If you get into that habit of start using the commandments, then you become to realize, well, what do I deserve? God's wrath and punishment. I don't deserve anything good. I deserve to be punished and to be away from God for eternity. I know that sounds harsh, but that's just the way it is. But here comes the good part. Do you also have the certain hope of salvation? Yes. Who do you trust in? Jesus. See, Jesus died on the cross. He shed his blood on the cross. And the thing of it is, that would have been plenty right there, paying for my sins on the cross. But he didn't leave it there. He rises from the dead as if to say, oh, by the way, all those bad things you did to me? Yeah. I don't count it against you. I'm not mad about it. That's why he came back, to tell us, I'm not mad about that. I want to show you that I'm the first guy to come back from the dead. If you trust me, you will come back from the dead too. Now, if that doesn't change your perspective about life, please contact me, because you are in serious need of counseling. Something wrong. Your mind is not working right. When a person knows this, when they know how sick they are and what they really deserve, then they hear what they get from Jesus. Why would anybody turn this down? So, let's leave it there today with the commandments, to know what to do, what not to do. We know we didn't fulfill them, but thank God Jesus did on the cross. And then he comes back and says, I'm not mad because you did those bad things to me. What a beautiful deal. And guess what? It's all free. Until next time, God bless you. Bye-bye.